What is up, everyone? This is your host again, Limitless, and we're back with another episode of Limitless Talks. Guys, a lot is happening. The market is going up and down like a yo yo, and it's just like uh, everything going on. We can see a lot of fear, a lot of manipulation, and of course, the rhetorics coming out of the government and the economists is just a load of bullshit. We know they always need an excuse to do what they want to do. So it's up to us to understand that regardless, they will do what they want to do. And the excuse is just for the people, so the people can't blame them for what exactly is going on. You understand what I'm saying? I just want us to look at this right here. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon. People with these traits succeed. Not the smartest or hardest working in the room. Guys, you don't need to be the smartest or the hardest working person to succeed. You understand what I'm saying? You don't need to be the smartest to 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 bloody understand what is going on. All it takes is a bit of critical thinking. And that's all we need to do. We just need to look at the situation, look at the reality, observe, and say to ourselves, does that make sense? And hey, if it doesn't make sense, it makes no dollar. You understand what I'm saying? So let's move on. As usual, you understand? Uh, Obviously, the market is down. You can see all the reds right there. US, Europe, and what are we seeing? We're seeing the dollar index up again, which tells us this is a fair trade. Guys, there's no two ways about this. If you look at the VIX, which tells which shows us, uh the volatility index in the market, basically the fear index of the market. Let's read what the VIX stands for again. The VIX is the ticker symbol and the popular name for the Chicago Board Options Exchange Volatility Index, a popular measure of the stock market's expectation of volatility based on S&P 500 index options. So right there, guys, we need to know the fundamentals. We need to know the main drivers of the market is the debt. You understand what I'm saying? Right here, the last time we looked at the market, they did about 1.6 trillion on the Tuesday, which matured on the Wednesday. And on Wednesday, they're doing 1.7, which is maturing on the Thursday. So what we're seeing is the market sold off, the dollar strength went up. However, when you look at the rate, you see the rate didn't move much. And the only reason nothing happened with the rate is because they've injected trillions into the market again. Guys, you can't make these things up. You just can't make it up. You understand what I'm saying? We need to get hip to these things. We need to understand the fundamentals. You understand what I'm saying? And if you look at commodity, gold went up, but oil took a beating. And again, it's not even a major beating. It's just down by 0.08%. Literally just jumped to 0.1% now. You understand what I'm saying? It's you need to understand the market basically, guys. Because once you understand the main drivers of the market, you just know that you know it's not it's not what we think it is. It's all manipulated. You understand what I'm saying? So let's move on to some of the interesting stuff. Here's an article by Zero Edge. Our leaders made a pact with the devil, and now the devil wants his due. Guys, again, we know exactly what is going on. The way the autonomy that's been given to the central bank for them to operate, it's not something they should have had. They shouldn't have. You see, the control of money, the creation of money, should always be in the hands of the people. But you give a centralized entity the power to create money and you expect them not to abuse it? Come on, come on. Of course they will. So all these guys are doing now is they're just printing money and they're buying assets. We've looked at the Fed's balance sheet before. You understand what I'm saying? We see all the security backed loans that's on there. We know what they're doing. They're buying up the whole place with their monopoly money. And the people are so gullible, they're allowing it to happen. These guys are printing money out of nothing and they're putting a face value on it. That's all they're doing. They're putting a face value on it. And we're just believing it and saying, oh yeah, because that says £5, yes, it's worth £5. It ain't worth shit. There's something called signorage. This is a scam that people don't even know about. The signorage is basically the value difference of how much the value difference of the face value of a currency and how much it actually cost to produce that currency. So, for example, if the Bank of England printed £5, the face value is £5, and it cost them, let's say, £1 to put that money into circulation. You see the £4 difference? That's an income to the Bank of England, which they kick back to the government after they release all their, they remove all their expenses. So again, you ask yourself, who the fuck do we owe money to? I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't see nobody going to the government and exercising their right, for the government to discharge their debt. Because if you look on your money, it says this is a promissory note and it's redeemable. I promise to pay the bearer. It's a debt money. And don't get confused about, oh, you promise to pay the bearer as in, wherever you go to shop. No, that's not what it's about. It's about the government giving you gold in the value of the currency you've brought to them. But they've removed the gold, so the people as well have forgotten that, hey, the government actually owes us gold, But let's move on. Next, we've got consumers lost 5.8 billion to fraud last year, up 70% over 2020. Guys, they're robbing us clean on all fronts. You understand what I'm saying? They're robbing us through inflation, they're robbing us through taxes. You understand what I'm saying? And they're robbing us through fraud. Again, in the last episode, we looked at how these banks, they get caught working with mobs, with drug dealers, with cartels, with all sorts of bullshit. And hey, if the bank is working with the cartel, just imagine what the government is doing. Because the government is supposed to be regulating these banks. The government that we put in charge is supposed to be in charge. But clearly, they're not. We're being robbed all front. All front. Remember, the biggest fraudsters have some government entity backing them. Now, guys, remember, not everyone in the government is privy to these illicit activities that's going on. Okay? Let's not be silly and think, oh, everyone in the government knows about. No, not everyone in the government knows about this. You gotta be at a certain level in the government to know about the illicit activities that are going on. You understand? So let's not be that naive and just think, oh, everyone in the government knows about this crap. No, not everyone in the government is bad, and at the same time, not everyone in the government is good. They're not innocent. You understand what I'm saying? Moving on, we've got an obscure corner of Wall Street is making billions trading inflation. Small teams have been making the most of global price shocks with trades that can be just as volatile. Guys, when you know there's this much money being pumped into the market and you know exactly when it's going to happen, where it's going to go, of course you'll make a killing. And that's what these banks are. That's why when you're investing, you want to include the banks as part of your portfolio. Because whether the market go up or down, they're making money. They deal in trade finance. That's all they do. They facilitate trades. You understand what I'm saying? So these banks, JP Morgan, Barclays, they all pay dividends. All right? And you need to include them in your portfolio. You understand what I'm saying? You can take that as a financial advice. You can't go wrong. Yes, you cannot go wrong by including banks in your portfolio. You understand what I'm saying? Because whether the market go up or down, they getting free money from the central bank. Look, they getting money at damn near 0%. Look at this rate. Look at this rate right here. 0.08. Now you tell me, can you go to your local commercial bank and get a loan at a 0.08%? Can you tell me that? I don't think so. I don't think so. You wish if you think you can get that. You wish. You get me? But guys, they're making billions trading this inflation. They're they're messing up the middle class. The middle class ain't gonna exist by the time they're done. And what are they doing it under? They're doing it under the guise of, ooh, geopolitical tension. Ooh, COVID. Ooh, that. Ooh, we gotta do this. We gotta get money for test and trace. And they take all this money, they give it to their cronies. You can't make it up, guys. That's why it's important. You need to, we all need, not even you, we need, all of us, we need to understand how the world works. You understand what I'm saying? Next, we've got public sector debt climbs to record 2.32 trillion. 94% of Britain's GDP. Guys, we've talked about this. You understand what I'm saying? The acceptable range. Oh, let's take a break, guys. I've been going off. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. This is your host again, Limitless. And as usual, guys, please, please, please share with your friends, family, and loved ones because we all need to know how the world freaking work. All right? Things are not what it seems. You understand what I'm saying? And one thing this government, people in power don't want, they don't want us to be able to think critically. You understand what I'm saying? So let's get on with this right here. The debt to GDP ratio is at 94.9%. Imagine when you get your paycheck, 94.9% of your paycheck, right, goes to paying your bills and debt or whatever you got. And then the remaining, tell me, what exactly can you do? Tell me, how can you get yourself out of poverty with the remaining? You can't. You're gonna live paycheck to paycheck. That's what's gonna happen. And this is what we're seeing. This is what they're doing with the Western economy. That's why I keep saying the Western economy is done. This ain't a joke, guys. Get yourself, your friends, your family, loved ones, get everyone prepared because it's gonna be painful. They're purposefully destroying the economy. It's by design. All right? Moving on. We've got London Stock Exchange acquires cloud-based technology provider Tora in a $325 million deal. The London Stock Exchange specifically outlined Tora's exposure to digital asset as part of the reason for the acquisition. we've talked about this, guys. They're gonna tokenize this entire economy. They're gonna digitize it all, and they're building it. That's why we've looked at ISO 2002 standard, the migration time plans, and all that. Guys, make no mistake, this is happening. It's happening while they're telling you COVID, while they're talking about all sorts of other bullshit on mainstream media. You understand what I'm saying? It's happening. They're building the digital economy as we speak. But they can't let you be aware of that because they don't want you to partake in it. Guys, money literally flows from one asset to another. Nobody takes their money. None of these, the money in the trade finance, in the world's economy, they don't take it out and just leave it, because it's liquidity. They're gonna put it into somewhere else. And you see, as money flows out of this legacy market, it's flowing into the digital assets, because this digital assets will now be the backbone of the economy to move all these stocks. They will all be tokenized. All right. So let's pay attention to what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? They're all doing it. It's a global corporate agenda. All right. We need to understand that global corporate agenda. Let's move on to some politics. We've got Russia's incursion into Ukraine heightens the chance of policy mistakes by global central bank. Again, they gotta give you a reason as to the central banks will make a mistake, they'll do this. No, they're just using Russia as an excuse. As fears of an all-out invasion of Ukraine by Russia heightens, spikes in energy prices and knock-on economic effect could spell trouble for central banks. Energy price, we know, by inflating the market, the very first thing that's gonna affect, because petrol dollar, you gotta understand that energy is based in dollar. The global trade finance is done in dollars, and America is inflating the dollar at a significant rate. You understand what I'm saying? So it makes sense that energy gets attacked first. And once energy is attacked, we know everything else will be attacked. Because we need energy to create everything else. There's nothing else we do that we don't use energy. Understand that, guys. It's basic principle. There's nothing we make or create, either goods, a physical goods product, or a service. All right? Nothing we do that does not use energy. Everything uses energy. So if they're saying energy is up by 50% or gonna be up by 50-60%, what do you think is gonna happen to the underlying product that make use of energy? Of course, it's gonna go up. You understand what I'm saying? So let's understand that, guys. UK says Russian invasion of Ukraine has begun. Boris Johnson says first sanctions coming today. Now, guys, they're talking about this bullshit sanction, right? But yet, when they did this sanction, with America and all that, some company in America was still buying oil from Russia. This is how you know this is a movie. It's a movie. You can't be falling for this crap. It's crap, literally. We literally can't be falling for this shit. And one thing we gotta understand about the Western nations is they don't know how to de-escalate situation. If you go look at the history behind this old Ukraine, Western nations and Russia going on, it's the Western nations that are breaking treaties. And we know this ain't their first time breaking treaties. They break treaties all the time. They did it with the American Indians. You just have to study history. That's why when you study history, a lot of things will start to make sense. It won't just be like, oh, why would people want to do this? Why is it? It's because, look, history carries on. The world of today is an extension of the world of yesterday. All right? People don't forget. We're humans. There are people that are just greedy, and all they just want is just to take over everything for themselves, as if they can use everything by themselves. You understand what I'm saying? So They broke treaty with Russia when the Soviet Union was disbanded. Part of the deal was that the countries that were included in Soviet Union, you can go do the research yourself, will not be included will not be part of NATO. And so far, about 9, 10 of those ex-Soviet Union nations have joined NATO, and now they're trying to get Ukraine to join NATO, and Russia's like, oh hell no, hell no, like Ukraine is right at my doorstep. You're gonna come bring all your artilleries and all these weapons at my doorstep? Like, nah, Russia is a superpower. So you can understand why they're gonna, of course, I'll be agitated. You understand what I'm saying? I'll be pissed. I'm like, yo, you sneaky lying bastard. Not that I'm supporting Russia or anything, because they've all got their own qualms. You understand what I'm saying? But in this situation right now, oh, the West wants to escalate this situation. And why do they want it? Because a lot of the COVID narrative is falling apart. And, they need a distraction while they find a way to to bring people under control to continue the agenda. Make no mistake, and all this sanction they're putting on Ukraine, it's only gonna push, on Russia. It's only gonna push Russia towards China. We know the Chinese digital yuan is ready, and every nation, that's part of the Belt and Road initiative. China's already telling them, don't deal with me in dollars, deal with me in digital yuan. That's what I'm saying. The digital yuan is going to be the new world reserve currency. And if you look in history, every time the world superpower have changed, there's always been a war before a new world superpower comes about. And this time ain't going to be no different. And anyone that's still thinking this ain't finna happen, like this is all a joke, God, you're not going to survive. Let me just put it that way. But don't worry though. They got universal basic income waiting for you because they're trying to finish everyone off. But hey, let those who have ears hear and eyes see. That's all I can say on that. Moving on, we've got these commodities ETFs can help hedge against geopolitical tensions. Market analysts say we don't even need to look at commodity ETF. Buy the commodity directly. Gold, silver. Obviously, in the case of oil, you can buy, an ETF. You can buy oil futures or something like that. But when it comes to gold, platinum, copper, silver and all that, buy it. Buy it directly. Hold a physical gold. Hold, those are commodities. Hold the physical portion of it. Don't buy no ETF. Oil, I'll say, yeah, you can buy the ETF. And everything else, the stocks, the cryptos, of course, they all edge against inflation. But we know crypto and the stock market, they're coupled together right now. You understand what I'm saying? They're coupled right now. So it's no brainer. Because if you look here, as the VIX go up, we understand that the market drops. And you can see VIX up, Bitcoin drops right down. And you can see that slope in the FTSE 100 index as well, which is UK's top 100 companies. And if I put in all the Dow Jones, the DAX for Germany and all that, it's gonna be the same. They'll all be going down. This market are coupled. They're all centralized. Okay, we don't want centralized system. We want decentralized systems, because you can't trust humans. That's just the bottom line of it. You understand what I'm saying? So moving on to a little bit of crypto news. We've got Brazilian Senate committee approves bill regulating crypto transactions. The project introduced by Senator Flavio Arns has to be voted on by the Senate plenary and then, if approved, by the Brazilian Chamber of Deputies. So after the Senate plenary, then the Brazilian Chamber of Deputies. So kind of like your House of Commons and then your House of Lords. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same system. They all just call it different things. That's why once you understand politics, economics, you just understand what's going on. But the way they talk about things in the media, trust me, you're not prepared. You will not understand. They're not talking in layman's term. A lot of people think they're talking in layman's term, but they're not. All right, they're not. So obviously we know regulation is coming. Regulation is on the way. So they all need to get ready anyways, because the deadline to be fully migrated onto the digital economy is 2025. A lot of the major central banks around the world, they've put a memo. If you're not fully upgraded by 2025, the current Swift or back system that they use, it will have limited functionality and limited support. So if you're not, whichever company is not switched by then, they're on their own, yo. That's it. You get me? Moving on, we've got Qatar says it can't replace Russian gas supply to Europe. We know it can, but hey, why would they want to do that? They want to cross Europe. Like I said, Europe is done. And right now, we know the East is being ruled by Russia right now, by China right now. And we know China is supporting Russia hard. If Russia goes to war with the West, you best believe China's jumping in. These guys have warships placed around the world already. Literally already. They're waiting for US to jump. And they're gonna pounce on US like it's nobody's business. That's why there's a lot of people out there that understand what's going on. And at the same time, there's more people, majority of people don't understand what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? The the only I'd say only about 20% of the world population understand what's going on in the world. The remaining 80% don't have a clue. And they don't want to have a clue. You understand what I'm saying? Out of the 20% that know what's going on, only about 10% have a, proper understanding. You understand what I'm saying? The remaining 10% again, they're still trying to just wrap their head around it like, oh, how can this be happening? But it is happening. So we know this is nothing but a political, game. They can supply it, but they don't want to supply it. Moving on, we've got UK strikes compensation deal with Nigeria following years-long global fraud probe. This is actually embarrassing. Over 200,000 in compensate. Over 200,000, Do you know how much fraudulent transactions the UK has been involved with ex uh ex-African government agents and officials and stuff like that? Billions of dollars. And guess what? They're not returning it. But they're talking about £200,000 compensation for obtained by the Serious Fraud Office. I mean, the fact that they had to call themselves Serious Fraud Office shows you that they are not serious. It's a scam. It's pure scam. And they're like, in total, £210,610 will be transferred by the UK government, with the funds supporting three key infrastructure projects, ensuring that the people of Nigeria benefit directly. What the hell is the Nigerian people going to do with £210,000? Does that make any sense to you guys? It don't make no sense to me. A nation of 200 million people, what are you going to do for them with £210,000? Absolutely nothing. If anything, even if they say they're giving us aid, we know when they give aid money, they put stipulation in the contract to say you have to spend this money with Western companies. So they give you the money, and the money goes right back into their pocket, and then they make it look like, oh, we're saints, we're angels. Oh my God. No, they are not. They're criminals, they're liars, they're thieves, and it's nothing new. If you guys go back to when Henry Kissinger was in or was it Nixon? Either Kissinger or Nixon, those two are just mugs. They're mugs. In the early 1900s, when they were talking about compensating the oil producing nations, and of course all the countries with like natural resources, especially the so-called third world countries with natural resources, and like compensating them back for all the resources taken, and moving forward, paying appropriate price for those, commodities that or resources, however you want to put it, that they purchase from those people. you know the deal was that they were gonna go ahead and do that, but guess what? They were like, there's no way we're gonna do that because we're gonna lose. And they know that. You see, if they allow these so-called third world countries have proper currency with proper exchange rate based on the value of what's in their ground, or allow them to develop and build infrastructures to capitalize on the resources, Europe, France, Germany, America, they have no chance because these guys have nothing in the ground. They barely have anything. Even Ireland has got some stuff. You see what England did? England forced Ireland to its knees, forced Scotland to its knees. So now, when those countries say they want to break away and stuff like that, people get surprised, like, "Oh, Ireland would like you, dumb idiots, idiots." People don't understand how karma works. People don't understand that whatever you reap, you will sow. And you think these countries ain't gonna pay for what they've done? Of course they will. They will. And there's pain coming to the Western world. You understand what I'm saying? And not all of us is gonna be affected. I live in the West, but trust me, I can also run back to Africa anytime. Anytime. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't need to run anywhere. I'm going to be right here and I'm going to prosper. And those of us, those people out there that understand what's going on as well, they will prosper. It's just that simple. We're not scared of what's going on. We understand what's going on. So we're going to be prepared. But the sheeples that's just listening and being scared, spending 95% of their income on debt and have nothing left over to invest, none of that. Because a lot of them, the remaining they got left over, they'll be like, "Oh, this is all I got, let me just chill with it." Oh, it's gonna be sinister. People think universal basic income, like, you see Ireland, is it Ireland or Scotland, that's that's gonna carry out a trial for universal basic income of £1,600 per month. Guys, it's gonna start that high, right? You think, that's nice, work it, not doing anything and getting £1,600. Yeah, for now. Just wait till those central bank digital currencies get regulatory approval. We know what they can do with those central bank digital currencies. They are programmable. They can program it. If you don't spend it by a certain date, poof, it's gonna disappear. They're gonna program it that you can only spend it in certain locations. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they can program it that you can only purchase certain things with it. Guys, we need to understand how the world works. You see, technology can be used for good or evil. And what these guys are doing, they're using it for wickedness. They don't care. They want to control you by fire, by force. But guess what? They're not going to force you to bend to their will directly. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to do it indirectly. So they will make you choose. Because one thing they can't do is they can't force you to do anything. You have to choose to do what they want you to do. You have to be the one to bury yourself. So if you're not enlightened enough to understand the actions you're taking, then you're gonna fall for the devil's tricks, because it's all tricks at the end of the day. Remember, if you fall for the game, you're the one playing. It's just that simple. You're playing if you fall for the game. If you don't fall for it, you're good. You understand what I'm saying? If you fall for the game, you're the one playing. They're not playing with you. They tricking you. You understand? Moving on. We've got exclusive. Nuclear has a lot going for it, while net zero will simply not happen, says skeptical environmentalist Bijan Lombard. We've talked about this guy, We've looked at him before. He's coming out of Denmark. He's probably. I'm not. You know what? I can't really say much about him. You understand what I'm saying? But it talks a lot of sense. There's no way we can achieve net zero. It's just not possible. So let's just leave it at that. Next, we've got former crypto CEO denies responsibility for 11 billion Ethereum DAO hack. A joint investigation with Chain Analysis claims that Toby Onish, ex-CEO of 10x, was behind the infamous 2016 hack. Guys, they will always want to find a fall guy to take, the rap for the game they're playing. You understand what I'm saying? For the tricks they're playing on the people. You understand? We know they're behind the hacks. You think if there's regulation in place, you think these people will allow themselves to be hacked 11 billion when they know they gotta pay all that money back to the consumers that money was taken from? Of course not. But they know there's no regulations, so they can steal 11 billion from you. Fraud. Fraud, fraud, fraud. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's here, right? Consumers lost 5.8 billion to fraud last year, up 70% over 2020. And remember, whatever number they give you, you can multiply it by 10, 20 easily, because they lie. I mean, this is just one year in 2016, 11 billion. You get what I'm saying? And that 5.8 billion is just over 2020 alone. So guys, you out here thinking, ooh, my information is saved with these guys. I've got my money with them. They can't do anything wrong. Man, they'll take your money and gone. They'll be gone, man. Like, they don't care. There's no regulations. That's why we set up government to regulate commerce for us. You understand what I'm saying? And if the government ain't doing their job yet, then it's game. It's game for anyone in the market. And if you get got, you get got. Done. Moving on, we've got Luna Foundation Guard raises 1 billion to form UST reserve denominated in Bitcoin. Terra said it chose to denominate the forex reserve in Bitcoin because it considered the crypto asset less correlated to the Terra ecosystem. So, guys, the main important thing here is the 1 billion was raised through sale of Luna tokens. And of course, we know Luna pumped just off of that alone. So, guys, look out for this news. I personally don't, look at these things to capitalize off it, because a lot of the time the deal is done, and what you get is just that. You get you'll see the market drop because the money's already been made, and anyone else coming after that is just helping them pump the market up, and then they're gonna pull out. But the main thing to take away from here is adoption. Which ecosystem, which crypto, which digital asset is being built upon, which one is having utility built upon it. That's the main thing. That's why I share these things. You understand what I'm saying? And when we're talking about billions being pumped into something, of course, we know those are the big boys dealing with that. Moving on, we've got South Korea's top bank to launch crypto ETF. The asset management arm of South Korea's Kookmin Bank is planning to study and launch crypto derivatives and ETF. Guys, we're hearing a lot of these, institutions coming, doing this, setting up this product, setting up that product, but we're not seeing the price reflect in the underlying asset, which makes no sense. Again, that's how you know the market is manipulated. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you see when they flip the switch, guys, the run up will be mad. It will be mad. But hey, whoever's not in the market, you're not in the market, innit? Moving on, we've got Bitpanda to provide crypto custody with the acquisition of FCA-approved Trustology. So this has to do with a UK thing. Again, Bitpanda said the Trustology acquisition will be the first step towards launching its prime brokerage service, Bitpanda Pro. Now, Trustology is a United Kingdom-based, company. So again, we're seeing the cross-border infrastructure being set up. And of course, we know all these big players all they're doing is they're building. They're building. The foundation has been laid. All the cryptos are ready. They know which ones are gonna make it and which ones aren't gonna make it. There's over 17,000 cryptos. Not all of that shit is making it. You understand what I'm saying? Most of it, 99% is garbage. Garbage. They're just gonna go out the door. They're just gonna vanish. And if you got money in it, your money's gonna vanish with it. You understand what I'm saying? So moving on, we've got UK law firm becomes first to accept crypto as payment. Gonna Cook, a law firm based in the UK, has started accepting cryptocurrency as payment for its services. Guys, early days, early days. We know what the future is. That's why I'm trying to bring this so you understand. You get me? It's a digital economy. It's called the fourth industrial revolution. This is one thing you will never hear mainstream media talk about. Tell me how many times you've heard mainstream media talk about the fourth industrial revolution and what's been done. Tell me. Of course not. You won't hear them talk about it. Next, we've got latest figure shows 21% decrease in commercial papers. Now, commercial papers is like bond. So the way government issue bonds and stuff like that, a company can also, raise money by issuing commercial papers, which is more or less like a bond as well, similar to a bond, but it's been issued by the company and it's not securitized. You understand what I'm saying? So they can mug you off if they choose to mug you off. But if they issue a bond, that's securitized because they have to register it with you know like Financial Conduct Authority or Security and Exchange Commission or whatever is in the country. Uh, what do you call it? Regulating commerce in there and stuff like that. That got delegated authority from the government to regulate commerce because a lot of these entities and agents, they have delegated authority from the government and the government have delegated authority from the people. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, so they decreased that by 21%, and we know Tether Tether is gonna vanish in the end. USDC is the king. You understand what I'm saying? Tether is gonna vanish. So next, we've got year 1602 revisited. Are DAOs the new corporate paradigm? Guys, look at this. They even they've got ships and everything. This is when Europeans, from Spain to Portugal, to England, France, and all them, talking about they going to the new world, exploring, discovering new lands. When they got there, they met people, but somehow they discovered it. It's like just like Eddie Griffin said. It's like I'm gonna walk out of this show now and discover somebody's car. but you know, but that's the time we're in again. You understand what I'm saying? It's a new technology race. It's a new race for who's gonna acquire, the most percentage of the new digital space, and that's what's going on right now. And you know, in 1602, the Dutch East Indian Company was formed in what many consider the world's first initial public offering, allowing perfect strangers to share in stock ownership. Guys, it's gonna be insane. You know, Before, people didn't have access. You know, Normal day people, everyday people didn't have access to a lot of these stocks and stuff like that, these public offerings. But with the help of crypto, you don't have to own too much. You can buy fractions. The same way you can buy fractions of crypto is the same way you'll be able to buy fractions of stocks. Literally, guys, it's a good time we're heading into. That's why we have to educate ourselves, because if we allow the government and these agents and these corporations to educate us, you can best believe they're gonna miseducate you, because they don't want you to be able to think critically. It's just that simple. All right. So this is why shows like this are important. We're talking the fact here. You're gonna hear them talk about, oh, this is not true, that is not true, but all you have to do is go on their website and look at what they're doing. Don't listen to what they're saying. Remember that. Don't listen to none of these politicians, economists, CEOs, whoever they may be, because they're puppets and their job is to deceive you. And if you're stupid enough to be deceived and just listen to what someone is saying rather than what they're doing, just like that saying goes. You understand? Don't do as I say, do as I do. Don't just listen to people. Look at people's action. Look at their action, for crying out loud. All right? People's actions is what matters, not what they say. Words is cheap. Words are cheap. All right? Anyone can say anything. But hey, it takes a real person to do exactly as they're saying. You understand? So, moving on. We've got Puma registers ENS domain, changes name to puma.eth on Twitter. Guys, adoption is coming. You know, right here, they're joining Nike and Adidas in the metaverse. Look, guys, there's still money to be made because there's ships out there that will be buying products they will never wear. But guess where they're gonna be wearing it? In the metaverse. I mean, we already live in a society where people are fake on socials, where people always portray their life on social as the best thing since sliced bread. But when you see them in real life, they're nobodies. They're nobodies. It's just like that. They are nobodies. You know, your favorite influencers, most people get shocked when they find out that their favorite influencer or celeb is got caught being involved in some immoral activity and stuff like that. Like, why are you surprised? You're the one idol worshipping these idiots, and you're an idiot for idol worshipping in the first place. You don't worship anyone. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? You don't worship nobody. Not your politicians, not the celebrities, not the CEO, none of them, because they don't have your best interest at heart. All they want is to tap dance for the paycheck. That's it. So, lastly here, we've got the federal. So this is the Federal Reserve of United States of America, which is basically their central bank, talking about using distributed ledger technology for payment directories. You understand what I'm saying? Introduction: the use of widely accessible and comprehensive payment directories can enable a safer, more efficient, and more accessible payment system. Payment directories, which are information elements that support the exchange of payment information, could allow for more end-user convenience, easier fraud mitigation techniques, greater payment routing accuracy, easier switching of service providers, and faster exchange of e-invoices and remittances information. You understand what I'm saying, guys? You've got peer-to-peer payment, business-to-business payment, and all that jazz there. And distributed ledger technology, these are your ISO 2022 main core founders. You get what I'm saying? R3 Corda, Ripple, XLM, IBM, SAP, Accenture, Consensus, all these major big players, guys. You understand what I'm saying? We know what is happening. We know what's happening. They can't take us for a mug. You understand what I'm saying? Stylized process flow for payment alias directories in a payment transaction. Look at that. Player, PSP8, payment alias directory, payment system, PSPB, payee. Quick thing, done. You understand what I'm saying? Stylized process flow for inquiries to business invoice registry. Boom, 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 boom. They show you can go here, read it, understand exactly what they're talking about. Traditional versus distributed ledger. You understand what I'm saying? It's things will be so much better, faster, cheaper. But you think it should better humanity and make and progress humanity forward? Nope. We're gonna. You see, the more technologically advanced we get, the more harder it will actually be to live on this planet. And that's for those who don't know what is going on. That's allowing these liars to educate them. You understand what I'm saying? So don't you can't expect your enemy to educate you. It just doesn't make any sense. You understand what I'm saying? These people are your enemies. Okay? And once you start realizing that, hey, the easier things will become for you. You know? Forget all that. Ooh, why would they want to do it? The question is, why are they doing it? Because humans are greedy. Okay? So, let's look at the crypto market. Of course, just like the stock market, everything is, red, flat, nothing major. But remember, guys, we've got backed tomorrow. Oh, look at that, 37K. Where's that sitting right now? Yeah, we're seeing at 37. So he's looking pretty red. Look at that shit. Look at that. Look at that. You can't make this up, guys. So we've got backed tomorrow, and then right after backed, we've got micro futures on the CME exchange back to back. You understand what I'm saying? And that's red as well. You see, nobody's finna pump this market, but we know why they're not pumping it. We know. We know why they're not. But we know the money is coming. We just have to be patient, and in the end, we know we're gonna be caking. We're gonna be caking. All right, diamond hand, guys. Diamond hand. You get me? But anyways, that's all I've got for you today. I appreciate you listening in. I appreciate you joining me, guys. Please share with your friends, family, and loved ones. We all need to understand how the world works. We just need to. You understand what I'm saying? Peace, love, and light to every single one of you out there. I will catch you on another episode. Peace.